Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Off Point Podcast. My name's Les Steed.
I'm Marlon White.
And today we are talking about trust. The reason we're doing this one actually is because yesterday I basically got dumped, which is fine actually, because I think that it'll hit me later I think, and I'm sure I'll be devastated when in time. It takes about 2 weeks for this kind of thing to kick in. But I thought I'd take the opportunity just to talk about trust because it's so important. And I think that most of my relationships, looking back, have broken down due to a lack of trust. And I think I figured it out finally. Firstly, it's not just me. I think that, to give some context, I tend to go out with people who are quite insecure in themselves to start with. And because, I've been insecure for quite some time myself. And then, that's something I've been working on the last year and a half. So but because I'm an extrovert, I come across as somebody who's kind of a bit more open and stuff like that. And this is something that's very common for people with ADHD. Because we're so open, we almost project our, out onto people when we feel insecure. So we kind of hide behind a smokescreen of this is too much information about me.
Right.
Because then they feel awkward and and then we feel awkward. And also because I don't know when to shut my mouth. And I end up, if someone becomes the centre of your world, which tends to be the way, when you're in a relationship with somebody, they become a component, increasingly become a more important part of your life. A lot of your story starts to revolve around them.
Right.
And so that kind of involves a lot of trust. And I think that, the reason I got dumped recently was just because, among other things, this person simply just lost trust in me and started to feel very suspicious of me. And then I started to feel quite attacked and started to over-explain a lot. And then that led to me putting my foot in it further instead of trying to get my way out. And me, I got my my super shovel and just dug my way out.
Do you feel that you were being untrustworthy?
No.
You feel like you've been 100% honest?
Yeah, I think that... there have been times when I have been untrustworthy, but not in the last relationship I'm talking about. I think that there are times, like, for example, one of my girlfriends in Indonesia, I cheated on them, and that was really fucked up. Both of them actually I did, and I've really regretted that now looking back, because I was 23, 24, and I think that at the time, I didn't see any relationship out there as something that was going to lead to marriage. Right. So you're a lot more casual with people, and it was, you're out there to have fun. I fell in love with somebody, I stayed there a little longer because of that, so I think that, while there was commitment, that kind of attitude starts to build distrust. But but the thing is that now I've been back in the UK for a while. There's been, I've had 3 major relationships, I'd say, and a little one as well. And the thing is that, while I haven't acted dodgy myself, I think that a lot of my behaviours look dodgier than they are. And I think that's because of my ADHD in a major way. One of the things is that if anyone makes and also because I've got a past in which I was kind of abused, where a little thing, for example, if I was like, "I'll piss off," kind of thing to you, can be picked and then turned into a threat and weaponized against you as being disrespectful, as being mean, as being cruel, as being, you're a bad person because you did this, and it's a symbol of who you are. And it goes from a casual comment that was insensitive, which I'm prone to doing all the time, to this is a reason to not trust you. And then they ask you about it, and half of them I don't even know I've said it, and then I end up in further, trying to figure it out while I'm talking, and that leads to me sounding like I'm making stuff up.
Right.
So I think that kind of is about sort of, I wanted to talk more about sort of lying and gaslighting, because it's something that I've written about in the past, and I think that it came up recently with this guy who made a comment on, he wrote to us actually on the podcast, which was really cool of him actually. I really liked the guy. He was a really nice guy.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Big shout out. Can't remember his name. Not because we don't like him, but because and he was talking about his wife who has ADHD, and they will have an argument, and 30 seconds later she will tell him that she said something else.
Right.
And he's like, I was there. I know what you said. I heard you say it. And I think that it kind of got me thinking, and I think that a lot of that is because she's filling in gaps for things in her panic, and her emotions are overwhelming her. And it just happens to me as well. I mean, obviously as a bloke, it's not really the most masculine feature if you're sitting going, having a small panic attack.
Before you go on, I know like the word gaslighting gets thrown around a lot. Can you give just like a basic definition of what gaslighting is?
Gaslighting is where you intentionally mislead somebody in order to manipulate them and to the extent that they start to doubt their own sanity. Now this is different. Now I've been accused of it a couple of times, and I know that some people have done that to me. As someone with ADHD, we tend to be very prone to doing it, and also prone to being victims of it. But when we do it, it's as a result of our neurology, not because we're being mean, not because we're trying to be manipulative. It's because we genuinely don't know what the truth is, and now our emotional impact is, the emotional impact of what someone's suggesting. We're very open to those suggestions, and then you kind of replace the truth with a false memory.
Right.
So an example of that was recently, my now ex-girlfriend said that when we were at a bar together with some friends of mine, I was linking arm in arm with her, with a random woman as I came out of the bar, and went, "Oh shit, there's my girlfriend. All right, off you go, otherwise you'll get me in trouble." Now, I thought that sounds like something I would definitely do. I checked it with my friends. That is something I would totally do, because I'm a bit camp, and when I feel awkward, I get even, I'm a bit drunk. Bit camp, whatever, and to me that's just a bit of pageantry. It's just me being silly, because to me it's so obvious that I care about this person, that this person's a complete stranger doesn't. I mean, the conversation would have started with, "I'm looking for my girlfriend," or "I'm just trying to find out where my girlfriend's gone."
Right.
And I think the stranger said something similar, and so we went arm in arm. I was like, "Shall we, darling? Let's go find our friends outside. I'm sure they're out here. Shall we?" And like the awkward doorway thing. Anyway, I thought probably just me being a tit, or having a bit of a laugh and being awkward. But she got jealous and got frustrated about it, and it caused an argument. But I thought that I'd done it in the first bar we were at with a blonde girl, because of a hoo-ha because I'd gone to the toilet at the end, and it turns out that actually it was a black girl at the end of the night in the last bar that we were in. Now I was completely convinced that it was blonde.
So did you actually do it?
I'm fairly sure I did. I don't know. I was quite drunk, but I think that I remember. But the problem is, I remember two scenarios equally validly. So one of them's not real, and the other one's real. So in effect, I've gaslit myself before and I'm not lying, because I think that both of those things are true.
So I got a quick question. Do you think your ex is wrong for saying that you lied or not trusting you?
You see,
if your your interpretation of reality is a bit warped.
I wouldn't say my interpretation of reality is totally warped. It's more that if I'm accused of something, so the only reason I even remember any of this is because she made an allegation. And when she alleged that, when she told me that she was in a huff with me or something like that, I was like, I panicked a little bit, and I was like, well, shit, did I do something bad? Did I not do something? And obviously to me, that's nothing. I mean, it's just like, well, if she was doing the same thing, I would see it was a joke. But, it upset her, and that's the problem. It's not about what I intended or anything like that, which took me a little while to figure out as well. But I think that, I forgot the question. Crap. Would you ask again?
Do you think your interpretation of was she wrong for not trusting you because your interpretation of reality is a bit warped?
I think that when it comes to people, it's about intent. It's not about interpretation of reality. So I know that the consistent thing between those two is that it would have been me being silly, not me being malicious. I wasn't getting anyone's number. I'd remember doing that. Didn't get anyone's number. I wasn't chatting anybody up or anything.
It sounds like you were making a joke.
Yeah, I definitely was, and it's something that I would do single or taken, or when I'm with somebody, just because like I know to me that this person's the centre of my world, and to me that's where that trust comes from. So I trust them because I kind of put them on a pedestal a bit, and I know that I wouldn't. I mean, it just doesn't make logical sense for me to do things like that.
Yeah,
and I think this is where the relationship started to fall apart because equally I don't see the third party perspective, which is that my girlfriend felt disrespected, and she also felt like I was, but she was also quite an insecure person herself. So this is the most YouTube thing we're ever going to do.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our video. Please do like and subscribe.